Good evening. I want to welcome you and call to order this regular meeting of the Floresville ISD Board of Trustees for this date of August the 3rd, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Let the record show there is a quorum of the board members present. Myself, Stephen Shadrach, Dr. Lionel Martinez, Mr. Craig Mutz, Mr. Marshall Fleer, Mr. Jason Sabota, Dr. Joe Odom, and Mr. Terrell Chillhouse. Furthermore, let the record show that this meeting has been duly posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. This is an open meeting, and we welcome members of the public to observe. Please note that public comment should be reserved for the public comment portion of the agenda. We kindly ask that no comments or questions be made outside of that time. Should you have any comments or questions, we welcome you to contact the administration directly. We ask that you please silence your cell phones at this time. Thank you for y'all's cooperation and welcome back to school. Mr. Sabota, please lead us in prayer, followed by Mr. Demise with the pledge.
Let's bow your heads. Lord, I want to thank you for this wonderful day, and thank you for the recent rains, and ask that we have more blessed rains in the future. I want to ask you to be with us as for the students, staff, and us as a board as we start a new school year and keep us strong and growing in the right direction. I ask you to be with us tonight and guidance in making those good decisions for the future of Floresville ISD. I also ask you to be with us tonight on our way home. Keep us safe. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you all for that. Now, Mr. Chillhouse will now recite our FISD vision and mission statement.
The FISD vision statement is character, knowledge, and confidence. Our mission statement is FISD is committed to the development of innovative, lifelong learners who possess character traits to achieve personal and professional success.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Martinez will now recite our FISD goals.
The FISD goals are excellent student outcomes, superior workplace environment, exceptional customer service and community engagement, strategic resource management.
We will now do a round robin board recitation of FISD core beliefs. Our FISD core beliefs are, in FISD, we believe all students feel safe and supported in a developmentally and academically challenging environment.
Families are welcome partners in their children's education.
Faculty and staff are compassionate, dedicated, adaptable individuals who are student-centered.
Campus leadership is fair, equitable, and clearly communicates and engages with stakeholders.
Superintendent and central administration lead with integrity, transparency, and clear communication to provide a well-resourced educational environment.
Trustees provide student-centered and fiscally responsible leadership in transparent and ethical support of all stakeholders.
Thank you all. Mr. Fleer will now recite our overview of the good governance and the code of ethics, please.
Each month we highlight one of our good governance indicators and code of ethics that the FISD Board of Trustees follow to promote the best interests of the district as a whole. This month for the code of ethics we are highlighting commitment to service. I will focus my attention on fulfilling the board's responsibilities of goal setting, policy making, and evaluation. I will diligently prepare and attend board meetings. I will involve personal involvement in activities the board has delegated to the superintendent. I will seek continuing education that will enhance my ability to fulfill my duties effectively. Our good governance indicator for the month is the board has written a plan for the review and measurement of board advocacy for the district within the community and with other governmental entities.
Thank you, Mr. Fleer. We will now have a recognition presented by Ms. Brooks, Mr. Riley, Ms. Pena, and Ms. Cruz. y'all could please come forward. Okay.
Good evening, President Shadrach, board members, and Dr. Calavo, and members of our Floresville ISD community. Tonight we have the privilege of celebrating an achievement that reflects the heart of our district. Capturing kids' hearts is built on the belief that strong relationships create the conditions for learning. While academic excellence remains our goal, we know that students achieve their greatest success when they feel safe, connected, valued, and known. This recognition celebrates schools that have intentionally built cultures where those relationships are at the center of everything we do. This evening, I would first like to recognize 3 campuses that have once again earned the distinction of being named a National Showcase School. Congratulations to North Elementary, South Elementary, and Middle School. What makes this recognition especially meaningful is that it's not the first time these campuses have earned this honor. Year after year, they have demonstrated that creating a positive school culture is not an initiative or a one-time accomplishment. It is who they are. To our principals, teachers, counselors, paraprofessionals, office staff, custodians, cafeteria staff, bus drivers, every employee who contributes to these campuses, thank you. This recognition belongs to each of you. Your commitment is reflected in the everyday moments that often go unseen. The warm welcome at the front door, the encouraging conversation with a struggling student, the classroom where every child feels respected, and the unwavering belief that every student can succeed. These moments may seem small on their own, but together they create the kind of culture that can change lives. So congratulations to these 3 campuses. Ms. Cruz is right on cue. So thank you to making a difference for every single one of our students. So Floresville South, North, and Middle School. And if you all will stay, we have a little bit more. These moments, thank you for making a difference. As remarkable as these individual campus accomplishments are, they also tell a larger story. A district does not become a national showcase district because of one outstanding campus. It becomes a national showcase district because multiple campuses, supported by district leadership and a shared vision, consistently create environments where students and staff thrive. Tonight, I'm honored to share that Floresville ISD has once again been recognized as a national showcase district by Capturing Kids' Hearts. This marks our 2nd consecutive year receiving this distinction. This recognition belongs to every campus and every department across our district. It represents the collective commitment to ensuring that relationships are the foundation of our work and that every student is known by name and that every child walks into a school where they feel like they belong. Receiving this award for a 2nd consecutive year demonstrates that our culture is not temporary. It is becoming a part of who we are as an organization. I'd like to thank the Board of Trustees for supporting this vision and investing in a culture that prioritizes both excellence and relationships. Thank you to our district leadership team, our campus administrators, and every employee who has embraced this work. Most importantly, thank you to our students and families for allowing us the privilege of serving you each day. On behalf of Floresville ISD, it's my honor to accept the National Showcase District Award. So thank you again and congratulations to everyone.
I congratulate all y'all for y'all's hard efforts. I know this is a multiple year distinction for some of the campuses. I believe North started first, and I believe this is probably year 4.
This is 5
maybe
or
5,
5.
maybe 5. And to middle school, this is your 3rd year, and South, this is your 2nd year, isn't it?
Oh, I thought you
Or
were.
is it-
It might be 3. Okay, 3.
So congratulations, everything from 5 to 4 to 3. I mean, those are great numbers, but it's a testament for your leadership and what y'all believe in. And I know when I went to the new employee and the educator onboarding, y'all have multiple sessions for the Capturing Kids' Hearts. So it starts as early as that, of saying this is very important and we can reap the benefits of that. And y'all have done that, and we thank y'all for that as a district, as a board. Thank you. Thank y'all. Awesome. Take a picture.
Yes.
That's a paper.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
You all stay there.
Yeah, I thought you were coming.
1, 2, 3. I'm gonna take one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all, Steve.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
It's easy not going to the side.
You couldn't screw it. Messed it all.
That's super exciting. That's great news. Thank you all. Ms. Petrie, do we have any public comments?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. We will now have a superintendent report by Dr. Calavo.
All right, I'm going to highlight some things in this. I won't read it word for word. Tomorrow is the first official day for all staff to be back on the job. They've been in and out for days, all summer, some of them. And so everybody will be headed into 4 days of staff development and then a work day. And then here we are next Tuesday, all the students return as well. The back to school bash is the big moment this Wednesday night. I hope all of y'all can be there. It'll begin at 6 o'clock and conclude with the pep rally at 7, I believe, in the gym.
In cooler weather?
Yes, I've ordered that. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but yes, I've tried. I'm working on that. Also, meet the teacher for grades pre-K through 5 will be August 6th from 3:30 to 6:30 at the campuses. And then there's a 6th grade orientation if you have a 6th grader or no one. August 7th from 2 to 5. So we are bringing our students back in and giving them opportunities to get a leg up, I guess, at junior high and to meet their teachers at the elementary campuses. We recently released, I hope you got a paper, the back to school guide is in there. So highlights a lot of things going on in the district. So it was in the news last week. Also included in this report, you have attached the athletic student code of conduct, and if you went to the football meeting last Thursday night, you already got that information out. They are held to a little bit higher standard even than the rest of the students. So that's, and then there's a coach's handbook as well of certain behaviors that are expected of the coaches attached. For transportation, the student bus handbook, and then also new this year is the employee support handbook for the bus drivers. So that's out there in your attachments. I've gotten to meet most of you, but I do want to encourage you to, if you have time, to come sit down and talk to me. I'm not here for a long time, but I will, I've really gotten to observe some wonderful things, I can tell you that, and I'd like to brag at least on your district to you. The end of the year, I also did enrollment, just a difference of, from the end of year 2025 was 93.05 ADA, average daily attendance percentage, and your end of year 2026 did go up just a little bit. I know y'all know how important attendance is, and I will remind administrators of that. That is how we're funded, period. And it's not on enrollment. We're one of 6 states that does average daily attendance as opposed to enrollment. So we have to staff on enrollment, but we get paid on how many on our average daily attendance. So we have to staff based on the fact that we, have to have 22-1, those kind of things. I also included, and so you have it twice, the new contracted staff. There was a fewer number, my understanding, so that's a big congratulations that is going down some. We also have fewer DOIs this year than have been in the past, so that's a positive step as well.
The years of experience was also helpful too.
Yeah, we don't have very many new ones. We have, I think 8 brand new teachers, and that's it. So, and when there's 8 brand new teachers, it's easier for other people to help. If there's a bunch, then sometimes there's not anybody to help, but they're out there to help. I did a list of events, everything that I could find so far on the calendar, so you could kind of see how busy the staff is with sports events and back to school. The blue are things that you be sure and let Alyssa know if you're going to come to the back to school bash to our convocation. Our convocation, I didn't highlight earlier, but breakfast starts at 8 o'clock on Friday. It is a 90s theme, so if you want to come as Screech or whoever that was, and
Changed.
yeah. somebody like that, you are welcome to do that. And then you also have, I put a calendar just in case you need one. You can print it and put it on your refrigerator. And then from the HR department is who has resigned and who was hired, resignations and hired. So that's it. It's fast paced right now, but going well, I think. Yeah, any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Lovins. That's a lot of good information. It's a good snapshot to see where we were, I guess I would say 2 years ago in ADA enrollment versus where we were last year. So rough numbers, we dropped about 130 according to my math. ADA went up, which is good. I know Ms. Engel likes that, but obviously more, it's always better to have more.
We need both.
Yeah.
We need students and coming to school.
There was an interesting article on the San Antonio Express today that talked about ADA, very important, and how that slippage is and the number of kids that exceed or bump up that 10% threshold, which I believe was 18 days. And they had
Here it's 16.
they had a
It's 165
startling
days.
statistic of what that meant. So thank y'all all for that. So.
Here it's 16, because we
Okay.
only go 165 days, so it's 16 and a half technically, so that's at 90%. We have rules about 75 to 90% in credit and below 75%, and we do have students with attendance that's less than 75%. So we're addressing that, talking about that.
Well, thank y'all in advance for what y'all are going to do in 2026 to 2027. So thank y'all for that. So. Our next report is the State Academic Assessment Report by Ms. Brooks.
Good evening again, President Chadrock, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Calavo. Tonight I will present the results from our STAR and STAR End of Course assessments for the 25-26 school year. This report will show all student results, unlike accountability, which only includes the accountability subset of our students based upon our snapshot. Tonight we will look at STAR performance overall for grade levels and for all contents, and including a few cohorts. In your board packet, you also have a one-pager that will go over a lot more numbers than I will show on the screen tonight. But just so you know, in the difference column, it will show, hopefully in green, or there are many in green, an increase from the previous year. And then also any number highlighted in green is a place where we are above the state. So this is a great tool if you just want to know something specific about one content or one area. Tonight I'll show.
It's a lot of green.
It is. I have more good news tonight. Tonight I will show scores at the approaches level, which means the student passed the exam, though they may need a little bit of support in the next grade level. And I'll also briefly summarize those meets and master level performance, which indicates performing beyond grade level standards. Might be too far. Oh. I'll spoil it. Okay. Starting with our elementary language arts and reading assessment results, reflect continued growth across the district, highlighted by strong gains in grades 3 and 5. Grade 3 increased by 7 percentage points district-wide, with South Elementary posting a 10-point gain, and grade 5 improved by 6 percentage points. While grade 4 performance declined slightly, the district's overall trend demonstrates continued progress in elementary literacy achievement, particularly in the areas that experience the greatest growth opportunity. Overall, grades 3 and 5 also increased in meets and masters performance by an average of 8.25 points. Grade 4 saw a small decline in meets and masters as well. Not to spoil it, but this is the only place you're going to see a decline in elementary tonight. Moving on to elementary math. It's one of my favorite slides tonight. District-wide, grade 3 increased by 6 percentage points, grade 4 by 4 percentage points, and grade 5 by an impressive 13 percentage points. Both elementary campuses contributed to these gains, with South Elementary posting a 16-point increase in grade 5 and grade 3 improving by 8 points. District performance in grades 4 and 5 met or exceeded the state approaches rate, reflecting continued progress in elementary mathematics achievement, As you know, math was a focused area for us this year. Meets and master's level also increased across all grades by an average of 6 points, with double digits in 4th and 5th grade at the meets and master's level. It's wonderful progress.
Very good.
Moving on to secondary, the middle school. The middle school STAR ELAR performance remained strong overall, despite modest declines from the previous year. Grade 8 continued to lead with an 88% approaches rate, while grade 7 maintained performance at 77. Although grade 6 declined by 9 percentage points, grades 7 and 8 each decreased by 2 percentage points, Floresville ISD continued to perform at or above the state in grades 7 and 8, demonstrating sustained achievement for middle school literacy. The meets and master's level also declined slightly. Looking at middle school math, results were mixed in 2026. Grade 7 showed a slight improvement of 1 percentage point from the previous year. Grades 6 and 8 experienced modest declines of 4 and 1 percentage point, respectively. Grade 8 continued to be the district's strongest performing middle school math area, exceeding the state approaches by 4 percentage points. Grade 7 remains an area of focus as the district continues to implement the advanced math track. As you may recall from previous presentations, students taking the 7th grade math test are the students who performed at the bottom 60% of their 5th grade math STAR. So the top 40% performing students actually took the 8th grade test. So it's a little misleading on that. However, this will change for next year as TEA has changed the assessment guidelines for which tests these students will take. Grades 6 through 8 math also decreased slightly in meets and masters. As you know, we also adopted a new secondary math curriculum that I brought you all in April or May, and so teachers will receive training on that this year at the secondary level. If we'd like to look at cohort of kids, not just grade level to grade level, a review of a one-year reading cohort performance shows continued student growth as cohorts progress through the grade levels. So on the screen you can see grades 3 through 8 as the kids traveled. The strongest gains were seen in the transition from grade 7 to 8 with an increase of 10 percentage points. While some cohorts experienced slight declines, including grades 4 to 6, overall performance remained strong. Looking at our students in cohorts with regards to math, grades 3 through 8, a review of one-year math cohort growth reflects strong gains across several grade levels. The largest improvements were seen in the grade 5 cohort, which increased by 17 percentage points, and the grade 4 cohort, which increased by 10 percentage points. The grade 8 cohort also demonstrated significant growth, increasing 14 percentage points. While grades 6 and 7 experienced slight declines, the overall cohort data reflects strong progress in overall mathematics achievement. Overall, they would say an increase of 3 to 5% is definitely worth celebrating. So when we are reaching those double digits, those are huge increases in 1 year.
So Ms. Brooks, real quick, I noticed between grade 5 and 6, we've been having some issues with that, and the numbers are showing it. What are we looking at? Is it the kids that's curriculum, or what are we figured that out? Because I know we were talking about it last year.
So I would say historically, statistically, you tend to see a little bit of a decline at that 6th grade and 9th grade level across the state. What we always want to look at is how are we performing in comparison to the state. So we know our kids are going to struggle a little bit right when they hit that middle school or right when they hit that high school. Of course, we're trying to transition them as best we can, but how are we performing when it comes compared to the state? I know at the 6th grade level, we have made some teacher changes moving into this year, for example, as well as adopting the new math curriculum, which will also help some of those advanced math kids. And then I have some slides on this, but we're also focusing on the writing portion of the ELAR exam.
Yeah, thank you.
So. As we move into science, our science STAR performance demonstrated continued growth at both tested grade levels. Grade 5 performance increased by 4 percentage points district-wide, with North Elementary improving by 6 points. Middle school science showed significant growth, with grade 8 increasing 10 percentage points from the previous year. Both grades 5 and 8 science performance exceeded the state rates, reflecting strong progress in science achievement across the district. The meets and masters at these grade levels also increased by an average of a whopping 15 percentage points at those higher levels. So very excited about our science performance in 5 and 8. Looking at social studies in grade 8, it did remain stable, FISD continuing to outperform the state with 58% at the approaches, which is exceeding the state. There was a 1% decline, I think, increase in meets and a 6% decrease in masters. So stable performance, but still above the state. Starting to look at the high school, the EOC performance remained strong across tested areas, with several subjects continuing to demonstrate high levels of student achievement. English 1 increased to 72% approaches, representing a 3-point gain and exceeding the state performance rate. Biology and U.S. history maintained strong overall performance, with biology achieving 92% and U.S. history continuing to exceed the state rate despite a decrease from the previous year. Algebra 1 and English 2 remained relatively stable. We also saw slight upticks in every meets and masters category in all EOC tested areas. Just looking ahead at these strategic actions, or what we might do with it, many of these will be continued or strengthened actions. These are not brand new things that we're bringing to the table. Obviously, quite a bit of what we're doing is working. So some of the things are just getting better or refining it. Some of it might be targeting some areas that we know need a little bit more support. So looking at F&E, they are continuing additional support structures for their MTSS in 4th and 5th grade, providing that in-the-moment coaching with teachers through walkthroughs and observations. They did a fabulous job with walkthroughs and observations last year. We also provided some training on the ECR, the written portion of the writing test with elementary, providing training on unpacking essential standards and designing those scaffolded interventions. We'd also increased SPED staffing at North Elementary, and we are using systematic spiral reviews for math. Looking at FSE, they are restructuring their MTSS expectation to prioritize the essential learning outcomes. We're going to utilize the FISD classroom framework to structure learning time with approved resources and instructional best practices. We also increased the dyslexia support based upon numbers at South, and increased progress monitoring and data tracking in PLC. Looking at
Can
FMS.
I ask something real
Yes,
quick
ma'am.
before you move on from North and South? It's wonderful that South has made so many gains. It's awesome. But what are the difference in the demographics with North and South? Just want to keep that in mind as I'm looking at this data.
With regards to the economically disadvantaged population is really probably where you see the biggest difference. It hovers at about 11 to 15% more economically disadvantaged at South than North. I don't have the data for this exact year till it all rolls in, but usually it hovers right in there.
Okay. Is it possible to get that
Yes,
information? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Looking at FMS, like I talked about, we are going to provide we did provide math training from Lead Forward already this summer, but we will continue to provide more math training with the new adoption. Continue those MTSS supports through their Empower period. Middle school has a very structured advisory class that they use to provide support. Teachers were also trained this summer on the ECR that was new for middle school, and they'll continue to work in their PLCs. Like I talked about, that robust math curriculum, and we do have some increased supports for SPED teachers coming up this year. For FHS, they did adjust the master schedule to support algebra instruction. So as we see that advanced math track continue, the students taking algebra as freshmen are also the students who have historically been challenged more in math. So we know that we need to tackle those classes a little different than we have previously. So Mr. Barrett has arranged some different staffing to make sure that we're better supporting those students. We're going to increase instructional coaching and support in tested areas, continue to provide systematic interventions and enrichment through an advisory period. I think last year FHS went through a restructuring of their advisory, and this year they kind of have a year 2 implementation plan. Again, we're adopting that robust math curriculum. Like I talked about when we adopted it, this will be the first time since I can remember that we will be aligned with math 6 through 12 and have the same curriculum and the same vertical alignment pieces.
What is the curriculum?
McGraw-Hill. And we also, like I talked about, will increase supports for SPED teachers at the secondary level. From the district perspective, we're going to continue supporting professional learning communities. We really have a Tier 1 focus this year. as with last year, we just want to focus on good, solid instruction in the classroom consistently. We are also really focused on those T-test high-yield instructional strategies with connection to TIA. So we just finished our first data capture year under TIA, and we're entering our year 2 plan, where virtually almost all of our teachers will be eligible. So a lot of our training is focused on that T-test rubric and those best instructional strategies that are high leverage and give us more bang for our buck. We'll also have instructional coaching with district-approved high-quality instructional materials with teaching and learning supporting walkthroughs and coaching. And of course, all of that just comes with making sure that we're monitoring the implementation of everything that we said that we're going to do. We are going to continue our SPED Academy, as we call it, or year 2 for our support facilitation teachers, where we're really focused on helping them help special ed students in particular. Focused on our district-approved instructional strategies and resources. We also have coaching teachers. Other academies exist, like our New Teacher Academy, so all 8 teachers are enrolled in our New Teacher Academy, so they have periodic times where they get together and have specific coaching through teaching and learning. Same thing with teachers enrolled in Reading Academy. Next year I'll get to talk to y'all about teachers enrolled in Math Academy. Academic performance on unit and interim assessments will also be monitored regularly through our data dashboards. Thank you, and do you have any other questions?
It's exciting news. I mean, look at the elementary. There's so much green, both from year over year and then compared to the state. And, but one thing that kind of stands out, and I don't know, it's just an observation. Our kids must like science, because if you look in science at elementary, they do well at all ages. It's kind of interesting.
Yes, I would also say we have some very engaging science teachers, particularly in those classes. They are just really rock stars, and I think they get kids excited about it. My personal opinion, but that's what I observe.
It shows.
Yes.
I'm very pleased that South Elementary's really come up a lot. It's
Yes.
very, very good. Finally, we get that balance.
Yes, they definitely saw big increases this year. They also saw increases last year. Phase 2 of this will be next month when I present the accountability ratings. So we should expect those within about 2 weeks. And then at the September board meeting, we will showcase our actual grades. So we will see.
We're anxious to see those.
Me too.
The great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brooks. We will now have a report over the 2026-2027 FISD student handbook by Mr. Kroll.
Yes. Good evening, Superintendent of Schools, Board President, and Board of Trustees. The student handbook was reviewed by campus and district leadership and serves as an important resource for our students and parents by communicating essential information for the school year, outlining applicable laws, requirements that are regulatory. A summary of content changes has been included for your viewing, I believe, in Board Book. I'm briefly going to highlight those updates. The first update revises the section formerly titled Child Sexual Abuse to Child Abuse, Neglect, School Staff Misconduct, Trafficking, and Other Maltreatment of Children. And they did that just to reflect the broader scope of state reporting requirements. Second update adds guidance on school staff misconduct and warning signs, including inappropriate boundaries or communications with students, including inappropriate relationships, violation of district communication policies, favoritism that compromises fairness, professional boundaries, creating, using, or sharing inappropriate AI-generated images involving our students and staff, neglecting, abusing, or physically harming a student, providing alcohol or drugs to a student, possessing a weapon on school property or during a school activity, and engaging in fraudulent or deceptive practices involving the school system or state board of education certification. Previously, the student handbook referenced a requirement for eligible students to participate in an assigned accelerated instruction program, a reading instruction program. Due to changes in state law, including Senate Bill 2252, passed by the 89th Texas legislature, this specific statutory requirement has been removed. While the standalone accelerated reading instruction program is no longer required, districts must continue to identify students who are at risk for reading difficulties through approved reading diagnostic instruments and provide appropriate targeted interventions through the district's early literacy and MTSS, which stands for multiple tiered systems of support. Additionally, districts remain responsible for notifying parents when a student is identified at risk, and there's more and more at-risk indicators than there ever have been. Fourth update addresses college and university admissions and final aid. Beginning with the fall of 2028 admissions, the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board will establish required entrance exam scores for automatic admission to public universities. So they're going up. Previously, automatic admission included criteria such as completion of the distinguished level of academic achievement and meeting ACT or SAT college readiness benchmarks. TASB also added a model parent rights form to the handbook for district use in meeting statutory requirements. Another update involves the designation of multiple occupancy private spaces for use exclusively by individuals of one sex. TASB added this section to align with the student handbook with recent state law requirements regarding access to private facilities. And we are, what's the word I'm looking for? We have no fines. We are adhering to this here. For example, what that means right there, our male basketball coach, he cannot go, some coaches used to go into the locker rooms to give their pregame, halftime adjustments. That's no longer allowed. And that's what I mean by that. So they use a classroom in the gym, that type of stuff. Examples of multiple occupancy private spaces include locker rooms, restrooms, shower facilities, and changing areas. As a result, individuals of the opposite sex may not enter these designated spaces except as otherwise permitted by law. Lastly, the unauthorized persons section was updated to clarify that officials at UIL or district extracurricular events may eject a spectator without first issuing a verbal warning or requiring persistent inappropriate behavior when necessary to maintain order and safety. So at a football game, we have a spectator that is excessive, using profanity, causing a disruption. We, administration, or our chief of police, our officers on duty can remove without giving a warning. I think next year it's going to be a 90th legislative session, so you're going to hear a lot more than likely. But with that said, Board of Trustees, do you have any questions pertaining to the handbook that campus leaders and district leaders adhere to? Thank you.
Our last report is the 2026-2027 FISD Employee Handbook by Ms. Dodge.
Good evening, Mr. Shadrack and Board of Trustees. The Employee Handbook mirrors a lot of the changes usually that the Student Handbook does. And it is a very light year as for Employee Handbook updates because there was no legislative session. You'll see in the in your board packet throughout the entire 75 pages of the Employee Handbook, anything that was new or updated has been highlighted. Most of those changes were very small and referred to different policy updates, like the instead of DC, it's DH, and those have all been highlighted. But also included for you is my kind of cheat sheet of the employee update changes. And so just a few that to point out. On page 15, under Health, Safety, and Training, there is now an actual, it's stated in the handbook that coaches, head coaches, and marching band directors have to have turned into the district, which for our district is our head nurse, their CPR training and their AED certification training.
Could you speak up, please?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. And the reported suspected child abuse on page 48, they're just emphasizing that, and it's been for the past 2 years, the updated and emphasized 24-hour reporting timeline for suspected child abuse. And that has to be reported not only to law enforcement, but to DFPS. So lastly, the only major change and the biggest addition to the employee handbook this year is going to come on page 69, and that is that DEI, in reference to DEI. And that's that prohibition on diversity, equity, and inclusion, any kind of teaching. And so there are two policies actually, both related to DEI. There's a new topic, making sure that it's prohibited in any teacher or staff member or employee of the district in engaging in diversity, equity, and inclusion activities for employees, and also prohibited teaching in any of our classroom of anything that's referenced or referred to as under the DEI umbrella. And this employee handbook will be sent to all staff. They will acknowledge that they have read, understood, and agree to follow all of the procedures and policies that are set out in the employee handbook. So are there any questions on that employee handbook? All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Next on the agenda is item number 5. First action item is the consent agenda by Dr. Calavo.
All right, in here, the consent agenda is a group of items that are recurring. They're pretty standard. You see them over and over, sometimes annually, sometimes once a month. So they're listed here. If you have any questions about any of them, or any questions, if you have something to discuss, we can pull it out of the consent agenda. If not, then administration recommends the board approve the consent agenda as presented.
I move to accept the administration's recommendation.
I'll second. We have a motion by Dr. Martinez and a second by Mr. Utes. Any further discussion? I see no further discussion. Show of hands in favor. 7-0. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Calavo. Now we will consider approval of the district improvement plan for 2026-2027. Ms. Brooks again.
This and one more. Good evening again. Tonight I will present the approval for the goals and performance objectives for the 2026-2027 District Improvement Plan, or the DIP. In addition to this presentation, the complete 32-page plan is in your board packet. So if you'd like more details about it, it is all in there. In an effort to streamline, we have incorporated the strategic plan into the district improvement plan each year for about the last 3 years. So hopefully you are familiar with this graphic. The board has already approved the strategic plan 4 years ago. However, the district improvement plan does include some other elements as required by statute. Just as a side note, the district strategic plan will expire in 2027, so we will likely begin work on renewing this in the spring with new leadership. The 4 goals in the strategic plan and the district improvement plan are: Goal 1, excellent student outcomes; Goal 2, superior workplace environment; Goal 3, exceptional customer service and community engagement; and Goal 4, strategic resource management. Each of the goals also has 3 or 4 performance objectives. Again, the performance objectives in the DIP are reflected in the strategic plan, so that we are always working toward the same end in mind. During the 25-26 school year, the district leadership team evaluated data from 4 areas in a comprehensive needs assessment in February and April. The areas reviewed are demographics, processes and programs, student achievement, and perceptions. The leadership team reviewed a variety of quantitative and qualitative data to identify priorities for the district. In May, a draft plan was presented for input to our District Education Improvement Committee, which includes teachers, parents, and community representatives. In July, a draft plan was presented for input to district leadership. Tonight, the goals and objectives of the plan are being presented for your approval. I will briefly highlight some of the strategies used to make progress in each of the goals. For Goal 1, excellent student outcomes, hopefully what you'll see, you've also heard in several of the other presentations tonight. So we will continue, for example, our Capturing Kids' Hearts implementation. We also have repurposed and added some extra MTSS and dyslexia supports, and that is based upon our growing number of students identified with dyslexia. We will continue data-driven, research-based tiered instruction for reading and math, continue to support and monitor special programs. We have also added an EB paraprofessional at each elementary campus under Title III. We will also continue our early college high school. You remember, as you might know, our first cohort of kids will be sophomores in high school this year. All are doing well, and we will have another 60 starting as freshmen this year. And we will also continue tracking our CCMR, or Career and College Military Readiness Indicator. I am pretty confident in saying that we will be over 90% on our CCMR indicators for accountability for the next 2 years. So great work happening, most of which will just continue under our improvement plan. For goal 2, we are going to continue those campus-focused PD. After this, we'll also look at the professional development plan, where you'll see campus PD is prioritized. Having those PLCs focused on building capacity and progress monitoring and data dashboards, and continue, like I talked about, those specialized teacher academies for first-year teachers, reading academy, and SPED. Like I also referenced earlier, the implementation of TIA Phase 2. So again, we're bringing on another group of teachers, and so far that has really refocused teachers on what those instructional best practices are in the classroom, and really monitoring student growth data. So I've seen it in practice under year 1, and I'm seeing a renewed energy. That was actually one of the questions that the brand new teachers asked is, well, when can we get that for PE? And I said, ask and you shall receive. This year, PE is on the list. So this is something that teachers are talking about, and hopefully it is helping them to really build capacity in their instruction. For goal 3, exceptional customer service, we'll continue our FISD parent and family engagement policy and compact. We also review data from our Capturing Kids' Hearts surveys that go to parents and teachers and students as well, and use that data to drive any changes. Ms. Marshall also does a wonderful job as our parent liaison. She provides parent learning sessions, helps facilitate bilingual nights with Ms. Castillo, and other family engagement opportunities. Like you might know, we just had our resource fair last week. For goal 4, strategic resource management, we will ensure a balanced annual budget that prioritizes competitive employee compensation, preventative maintenance, and refresh cycles, which we approved at the end of June. We'll continue to monitor facilities for safety, security, and flexibility. And that includes the security and threat assessment training and monitoring through our digital dashboard Sentinel, which our administrators are becoming experts at. The next step is that the campuses will present their campus improvement plans for the board in September. And then we will also continue working with our District Education Improvement Committee to review our goals and objectives. Are there any questions? Administration recommends the board approve the 26-27 District Improvement Plan goals and objectives as presented.
Mr. President, I move to accept the administration recommendation.
I second it.
We have a motion by Mr. Sabota and a second by Dr. Odom. Any further discussion on the motion? Show of hands in favor. 7-0. Thank you all. Stay there. Next, we will consider the approval of the district professional learning plan.
The 26-27 Professional Development Plan provides a strategic framework for professional learning aligned to district priorities, student performance data, campus needs, and educator growth goals. The plan was developed through a collaborative process with input from the DEIC, ensuring that professional learning opportunities reflect the needs of our staff, campuses, and students. It is in your board packet. The professional learning plan is about 7 or 8 pages long. Again, hopefully you see mirrored in our professional learning plan the same things you saw in the DIP, the same things you saw in the strategic action for the assessment report. So none of this is brand new, and we're trying to keep it all tied together. The plan includes required training expectations as well as targeted learning opportunities designed to strengthen instructional practices, build educator capacity, and support improved student outcomes. In accordance with Texas Education Code 21.4515, the Board of Trustees is required to annually review and adopt the district's professional development plan and training schedule. So tonight we are requesting approval of the 26-27 Professional Development Plan. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, administration recommends the board approve the professional learning plan as presented.
I'll move to accept administration's recommendation.
I second.
We have a motion by Mr. Fleer and a second by Mr. Shellhouse. Any further discussion on the motion made? Show of hands in favor. 7-0.
Thank you very much.
Now we will consider the approval of the 2026-2027 FISD Student Code of Conduct. Mr. Schroller?
Yes, sir. Good evening again, Board. Each year, the Texas Education Code requires every school district's Board of Trustees to adopt a student code of conduct, which outlines the district expectations, procedures, and responsibilities regarding student behavior and discipline. The Student Code of Conduct is developed in collaboration with district's legal counsel, that's Walsh Gallegos. For the 26-27 school year, only one revision has been made to the Student Code of Conduct. The 90th legislation session, there will be a lot more than likely. This update reflects a new state law requiring the Board of Trustees to identify the law enforcement duties of district peace officers, school resource officers, and security personnel, and to include these duties in the Student Code of Conduct. FISD is already in compliance with this requirement. District policy provides that the board ensures at least one armed security officer is present at each campus during regular school hours. Additionally, district police officers possess all the powers, privileges, and immunities of peace officers within the jurisdiction of the district, whether on or off duty. District policy CKE, legal and local, further outlines the 8 specific duties and responsibilities assigned to Floresville ISD police officers, and those duties are now referenced in the student conduct. Real quick, those 8: 1, protect the safety and welfare of any person in the jurisdiction of the district. 2, enforce all laws, including municipal ordinances, county ordinances, and state laws, and investigate violations of law as needed. 3, arrest suspects consistent with state and federal statutory and constitutional standards. 4, coordinate and cooperate with commissioned officers of all other law enforcement agencies. 5, enforce district policies, rules, and regulations on district property. 6, investigate violations of district policy, rules, and regulations as requested by the superintendent. 7, carry weapons as directed by the chief of police and approved by the superintendent of schools. And the 8th duty is they are to carry out all other duties as directed by the chief of police or superintendent of schools. Board of Trustees, do you have any questions to the student conduct in that one change?
So along with the student handbook, is the student code of conduct, does each student have to acknowledge? that
Yes,
they
sir.
understand?
Yes, sir. Handbook as well. Yes.
Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Good question. Any further questions, Board? If there are no further questions, administration recommends the board approve the 2026-2027 FISD Student Code of Conduct as presented.
I move to accept the administration's recommendation.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Mutes and a second by Mr. Savota. Any further discussion on the motion made? Seeing none, show of hands in favor. 7-0.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you all. Now we will consider approval of calling the November 3rd, 2026 general election. Mr. Schroeder.
Yes, sir. 2 trustee positions, District 3, Lyanna Martinez, and District 5, Jason Sabota, are up for election in November of 2026. In keeping with legal and policy requirements, the district will hold a trustee election on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026. Board members, do you have any questions regarding the general school board election? If there are no questions, administration recommends the board approve the order calling the general election for November 3rd, 2026 as presented.
I so move. I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. Shellhouse and a second by Mr. Mutes. Any further discussion on the motion that's been presented? Show of hands in favor. 7-0. Thank you. Now we will consider approval of the joint election contract with the Wilson County.
Yes, sir. State law requires a school district to hold a joint election with a city, county, or other local government entity. entities. Therefore, we have agreed to hold a joint election with the county, which was approved by the Secretary of State. In order to meet the requirements for a joint election, the county and the district must have common polling places on election day. You can find those location updates in your board packet. There is 5 of them. Box 101, Wilson County ESD off Cimarron Drive. Box 102, that's the Sacred Heart, Floresville Sacred Heart Parish Hall. Box 206, that's the American Legion Hall. Box 415 is the Life Church. And box 416 is Wood Valley Community Center in Atkins, Texas. Any questions?
Is the city or the county holding an election at the same time?
Yes, yes. Yep, and we've partnered with the county now for several years.
Okay.
Yes, sir. If there are no questions, board administration recommends the board approve the joint election agreement with the County of Wilson as presented.
I move to accept the board's recommendation.
I second.
We have a motion by Mr. News and a second by Dr. Oden. Any further discussion on the motion? Show of hands in favor? 7-0.
Thank you, board.
We will now consider approval of the student and adult meal prices for the 2026-2027 school year. Ms. Haney.
Good evening. Tonight, I bring to you a recommendation for student and adult meal prices. Regulations by the USDA and TDA require districts to review the price for student meals annually. Due to the Child Nutrition Fund's healthy fund balance, which we've enjoyed over the last several years, we have not had to increase student meal prices for several years. This year, we are recommending a proposed 10-cent increase in student meal prices for the 26-27 school year. The reason for this is that since we haven't been adjusting those every year, right now when we do the calculation, we are charging $3 for a meal. The calculation is about $3.97, so we're about $1 behind on those costs. Again, we don't have to increase them because we have a healthy fund balance in the child nutrition program, but just to kind of keep up and keep working to align meal prices with the actual cost of providing the meals while ensuring that the long-term financial stability of the child nutrition program, we are recommending that we go up the 10 cents for this year, so that would put it at $3.10. On the adult meal side, we have reviewed those again, and at this time we do not need to make an increase to those for the 26-27 rates. For that's right now it's $5 for an adult meal lunch and $3.30 for an adult breakfast. Are there any questions on those proposed?
So are we losing anything out of the adult?
No, we're where we should be on the adult side. Yeah, because they require us to do this PLE, paid lunch equity tool, and we don't need to go up on the adult meal prices. But again, and also just a side note on the fund balance on the child nutrition program, they used to require you to spend down that, and they only allowed you to keep 3 months operating in their recommended. They've increased that to 6 months operating. So again, we're within the guidelines and the regulations, but we're just recommending this just to keep it there. So we can kind of keep up with pace. So if there are no questions, administration recommends the board approve the price for student and adult meals for the 26-27 school year as presented.
I move to accept the administration's recommendation.
I'll second.
A motion by Dr. Martinez and a second by Mr. Marshall Flair. Any further discussion on the motion made? Seeing none, show of hands in favor. 7-0.
Thank you.
Last, we will consider the approval of the TASB Policy Update 127 and Local Policy Updates BJFC Local, CAA Local, DC Local, DH Local, DP Local, DPA Local, DPB Local, EHBB Local, and FFF Local. Dr. Calavo, please take it.
All right, we have received update 127, which every update contains legal and local policies. The legal policies do not require approval, and they are for your review, but they will be included in the policy update. We had a policy review meeting on July 14th at 5:30. Present were Heather Brooks, Jessica Stanish, Lindsay Angle, myself, Michael Schroller, Diana Martinez, Terrell Shellhouse, and Craig Moot. So we have had board members review. There were actually very few changes this time. Again, there were letter changes in the policy notations. They changed some of the policies around. And then there's still some reflections of Senate Bill 12, which prohibits promotion, endorsement, or enforcement of specific diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. So they were picking up the end of the diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Most of those were in update 126. So, administration, if you don't have any other questions, if you'd like to ask questions, I can probably answer them.
It's pretty lengthy. Thank you, 3 board members who sat through that. Thank you all.
Yes.
It's a lot of content.
It was actually real short this time because it was very few changes. It was just little bits of wording here and there. So there weren't a lot of changes. They just affected a number of policies. So administration recommends the board approve the addition, revision, and deletion of local policies as recommended in TASB Policy 127 and local policies updates BJCF local, CAA local, DC local, DH local, DP local, DPA local, DPB local, EHBB local, and FF local as presented.
I agree with that.
I make the motion to accept the administration's recommendation.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Dr. Odom and a second by Mr. Jason Sabota. Any further discussion on the motion made? Seeing none, show of hands in favor, 7-0. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Phillips. The board will now convene into executive session. Pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, attorney consultation, 551072 real property, and 551076 and 551089 security. No voting will take place in the closed section. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of the discussion in the closed session will take place after the board reconvenes in open session. We will convene in executive session at 7:32. All right, the board will now reconvene back in open session at 9:22. We will now consider approval of action 7A, consider to take possible action regarding the superintendent search.
You sure? Mr. President, I move to have Wash Gallegos conduct our superintendent search and have a planning session for August 10th.
We have a motion by Mr. Sabota.
I'll second.
We have a second by Mr. Flair. So we have a motion by Mr. Sabota, second by Marshall Flair. Any further discussion on the motion that's been made? Show of hands in favor? 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Sabota.
Dang. They're gonna text us.
Well,
You got it.
next, we will consider the approval of the possible resolution of the sale of real estate.
Mr. President, I move that the board adopt the resolution as presented and direct the secretary to attach the resolution to the minutes of this meeting.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Mutes,
I
Second.
a second by Dr. Martinez.
She was.
Any further discussion on the motion made regarding the resolution?
Do we have to put which one since we're doing both of the acreage or anything?
Yeah.
So do you want to amend your motion to discuss which properties that you're making
So
a
B,
motion and a resolution on?
You can combine them and you can just say adopt the resolutions.
Ma'am?
Adopt the resolutions.
Adopt both.
Yeah, adopt both.
you can do that one motion.
One motion,
So
adopt the
okay,
resolutions for each property.
For each
Resolutions,
B and C.
or
B and C.
B and C to the minutes of this meeting.
Yeah, that's for both.
Okay. So Mr. Mutes amended the motion. We have him. Dr. Martinez, are you still seconding?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, I
Okay.
second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Craig Mutes, second by Dr. Martinez. Any further discussion on the motion? Show of hands in favor? 7-0. Thank you.
That was the same.
That's all we have, right? Okay. We have now concluded our agenda for the meeting. Is there any further business? I hear none, I see none. Hearing the meeting is adjourned at 9:25.